morning, everyone. Chuck N. Baker at the Veterans Reporter News Desk. And we've got a very special show for you today. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But first, we want to bring you a couple of news items that we think you'll enjoy. I want to tell you about some things going on with short sales. If you've got a home and you're thinking of doing a short sale. This is not a commercial, but Tim Kelly Kiernan, our friend over at Remax Extreme, sent us a news release. He says housing experts are predicting a drastic rise in short sales with an all-time high expected to be reached this year. The number of short sales has already risen 45% during the second quarter year over year. According to RealTrack data, banks are realizing that short sales can be more profitable than letting homes slip into foreclosure. So they're becoming more willing to do them, and some banks are reportedly offering homeowners up to $45,000 to do a short sale. According to Darren Bloomquist of RealtyTrack, he told Reuters, "We're seeing a rush already. There was a big increase in the first quarter, and we're expecting that to continue." And in fact, it has continued. Now, Kelly Kiernan said that since August 1st, his calls for short sales have doubled. Homeowners are finally realizing that time is running out, and if they don't short sale before the end of the year, they might suffer severe IRS complications. Now, what Tim Kelly Kiernan is talking about is there's been a law in place for a while now where people short sale their homes and the IRS won't come after them for the tax that would be involved in kind of getting found money by not having to pay that entire mortgage and interest and everything. But according to the law, that tax has gone away this year. Now, it's possible that that tax is going to be reenacted or extended for the coming year, but so far Congress hasn't made any moves in that direction. And of course, we have a deficit and increased spending, and maybe they're saying, well, we're not going to pass that law. So whatever the case may be, people are rushing to get their short sales done if they feel that's what they want to do. So Tim Kelly Kiernan is saying, hey, anybody out there that's underwater wants to consider short selling their home, they should talk to their favorite realtor or broker. Obviously, Tim would like you to call him. You can actually reach him in the Las Vegas area at 241-8611. As I said, this is not a commercial. He's not paying us to do this, but I'm just giving you that information as a bit of information. 702-241-8611. We have another news release unrelated to that. Oftentimes when a loved one passes away, veterans are not sure what might be available to them or their spouses or their dependents concerning veterans benefits. Now, the Kraft Sussman Funeral Services in town is having a free seminar on October 23rd at their offices. They're at 3975 South Durango, Suite 104. Again, this is not a paid commercial, but Kraft Sussman is offering this free seminar, not only for veterans, for anybody. They're going to answer a lot of questions, how to make sure that people are getting their needs taken care of when a loved one passes away, what arrangements have to be made, what questions should be asked when interviewing funeral directors, what options are there available, and as I said, what kind of benefits may be available to veterans. Now, October 23rd, they're having a 7 o'clock seminar, talk, whatnot, and a forum. And you can call for a reservation. It's free, or more information at 485-6500. That's 485-6500. Again, that is a public service announcement. Well, we're going to take a quick break, pay a few bills, and when we come back, we're going to tell you about our special show today. Hello again, Chuck N. Baker at the News Desk. A few months ago, I'm proud to say that my son Nicholas Baker graduated from Officer Candidate School in the Marine Corps down at Quantico Marine Base. Of course, his mom and I are both very proud to see him do that. And we were down there, of course, and we definitely shot some video of that. Now, the keynote speaker was Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, and we did get most of his speech. It's rather long, but it's very compelling. He said some very interesting things concerning the security and the defense of our nation. So we're going to be bringing you that. We'll bring you a little video of Nick getting congratulated by the Secretary of Defense. As I say, it is a long piece, but that's what we don't mind doing that on this show. We're not into quick sound bites. If we we've got something that's important, we don't mind bringing it to you. So sit back and let's watch my son Nicholas Baker, and then we'll listen to Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta.
Exist today because there were brave people who were willing to do what you're doing, willing to stand up and to defend our country. You have all committed to giving something back to this nation. At a critical time of war, critical time when we're continue to confront terrorism throughout the world, a critical time when we face security threats across the globe, whether from North Korea or Iran, the turmoil we confront in the Middle East, cyber attacks, the threats that we face from rising powers. All of those areas represent the kind of challenges that we have to confront on behalf of the United States of America. And all of you set yourselves apart from your fellow citizens in a profound and in an honorable way. You have stepped forward to serve in uniform. As I said, you stepped forward with the willingness to put your lives on the line. I was at a command change ceremony this morning for General Schwartz, the Air Force. And it reminded me that we are very proud to have some of the best weapons and technology in the world. We've got great aircraft, we've got fighter planes, we've got bombers, we've got B-1s, B-2s, I've got tremendous aircraft carriers, I've got amphibs, I've got some of the very best technology in the world. But let me tell you something, none of that is worth a damn without the men and women in uniform who are willing to serve this country. Keeps this country safe. I often tell people that as the son of Italian immigrants, came to the United States like millions of others. My parents didn't have much language ability, they had little money in their pocket, but they believed deeply in what this country was all about. I used to ask them, why would you travel all of that distance? Why did you travel all of that distance to come to a strange land? And although they came from a poor area of Italy, they at least had the comfort of family. Why would you do that? My father said the reason we did it, because your mother and I believed that we could give our children a better life in this country. That is the American dream. It's what our parents wanted for us. It's what we want for our children. Hopefully it's what our children will want for their children. To always give them a better life. It is the dream we all share. It is the bond that brings us all together. Everything you do, based on making have a more secure and a better life in the future. By earning your commissions, by serving as Marines, you are making this country safer and more secure. You're ensuring that your families and all American families have a better life. You've come a long way since the start of OCS. Your time here at Quantico has probably been the longest and most challenging 10 weeks in your lives. You've certainly been under a lot of heat from your instructors and from a very hot July on record. But you've been up before sunrise. You've collapsed exhausted in Iraq after dark. I'm sure that each of you had moments as you were low crawling through the mud, carrying a heavy pack, running in boots, blisters in your feet, and you wondered just what the hell you'd gotten yourself into. Nearly a third of those who started with you did not finish, but you proved to yourselves, and prove to others that you can fight. Fight through the pain, fight through the frustration, and that you can endure what most people can't. You'll need that self-confidence. You will need that discipline as you step forward to lead the Fleet, Marine Force, and our military. For 8 of you, the start of OCS wasn't your first time in uniform. You've already served as enlisted Marines. Some of you have seen combat. So you know firsthand the sacrifice, the discipline that the Marine Corps is all about. And I commend you for shouldering the new responsibility as a Marine officer. Each of you graduating today will carry on the proud legacy of the Marine Corps, which stretches back to the very founding of our country. It is a legacy of grit. It's a legacy of determination. It's a legacy of taking the fight to the enemy on far-flung shores. It's a legacy of fighting like hell, especially when the odds are against you. Across generations, Marines have added chapters to that legacy. You can see it here in this museum. From the shores of Tripoli to the Pacific Islands in World War II, to the cold and unforgiving mountains of Korea, to the jungles of Vietnam. During the past decade, our nation has depended on Marines to confront determined enemies and threats around the world. And we'll never forget more than 1,400 Marines who paid the ultimate price for this country since 9/11. In Iraq, Marines went after their enemy in their own strongholds, taking Fallujah, some of the most deadliest fighting in that war. In Afghanistan, Marines have wrested control of Helmand Province from the Taliban. I've had the chance to be there to see it. It's because of them that we are denying sanctuary to an insurgency in its spiritual heartland. Right now, as we speak, night has fallen in Sangam District in Helmand. The enemy may be resting, but you can be damn sure the Marines are not. They're taking the fight to the Taliban every day, every night, helping their Afghan brothers to take the lead for security so that Afghanistan can govern and secure itself. Never again become a safe haven for Al-Qaeda. Our nation will never be able to adequately express our gratitude to the men and women who have stepped forward to protect this country since 9/11. This generation, your generation, will take its place alongside the greatest generations in our history. I believe the officers who have led this generation into battle will also take their place alongside the greatest in history. You have sent a very strong message that will ring throughout history. Nobody attacks the United States of America and gets away with it. Great history is reflected here in this wonderful museum. It includes some very fine Marines that I've been privileged to work with. General Jim Amos is serving as the 35th Commandant of the Marine Corps. He's helping the Marine Corps and our military build the force for the 21st century. General Jim Mattis leading some of our most important military efforts as Commander of U.S. Central Command. General John Allen is leading the coalition campaign in Afghanistan. It is his plan. It is in place. It is his plan that NATO has supported, and it's his plan that will guide us to achieving the mission that we set out in Afghanistan. I want to also acknowledge General John Kelly, who serves as my senior military assistant. I simply could not do the job without his candor and without his advice. He will soon assume command of U.S. Southern Command. It is now your turn. It's your turn to take up this mantle of responsibility as leaders in the Marine Corps, to preserve our military strength, to uphold the honor and the reputation of your uniform. In wearing the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, always remember that you have set yourself apart. Remember that you are expected to abide by the highest standards, to display the strongest character, and to demonstrate the utmost integrity in all you do. I need you to enforce those standards in your units. That is what the Marine Corps has always been known for. It is the sacred bond shared across generations with those who came before you and with those who will follow you. On this day, 70 years ago, men of the 1st Marine Division landed on Guadalcanal in the Pacific. We began a bitter fight for that island against the Japanese. In those early days of the war, America had good reason to worry about insufficient supplies, untested forces, and flagging confidence. Victory at Guadalcanal and in the larger war was anything but inevitable. Seeing the lack of supplies and aircraft available to the 1st Marines who landed on Guadalcanal, General Harmon wrote a letter to Army Chief of Staff George Marshall, stating, and I quote, "We have seized a strategic position. Can the Marines hold it?" Unquote. Over 6 months of bloody fighting, the Marines at Guadalcanal answered that question and turned the tide of the Japanese onslaught across the Pacific. That battle set the tone, not just for the war, but for the future of the Corps.
guys are very quiet.
Report! Coming in scene! All present or counted for! Attention to order! Headquarters, Officer Candidate School, Training Command, Training and Education Command, Quantico, Virginia, 10 August. Step. Order.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
And you now know why we told you to turn off your car alarms. They give a pretty good shout out for us. We also have the band that's with us here on every occasion. They were here with us a couple of weeks ago. It was about 115 degrees out here. They're here with us every time when it's cold, wet, rainy. So I get a round of applause for both the TBS team.
Welcome back, Chuck and Baker at the news desk. Hope you enjoyed our show today. Kind of a special show with the Secretary of Defense. And we'll be back next week with lots of other news. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend and take it easy. Hey everybody, when you're listening to the radio, make sure you're listening to the Veterans Reporter radio show every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. on KLAV. That's 1230 on the AM dial. It's the Veterans Reporter radio show with me, Chuck and Baker.